Hi friends, Analia here. Today I'm going to show you how to use layers to set different cut settings. The example I have here is 4 individual Valentine cards that are also sticker sheets. Because it's 4 cards on one sheet, I need to die cut or cut all the way through to separate the 4 individual cards, but I also need to kiss cut each of the stickers. Each card has 5 stickers. To do this, I'm going to use the layers cut settings, and this lets me do it all in one pass by setting different layers to different cut settings. Now, to set everything up, since this is a print and cut, we're going to go through a couple of settings here. So first, I'm going to go to my documents, layout, my page setup. First, I'm going to go to my page setup. Now, if your bar looks a little bit different, you might be in starter mode. I'm going to toggle that on real quick so you can see the icons are bigger. If you're in starter mode, we are going to get into settings that are not immediately visible on this bar, depending on the size of your window. So you may need to click down here on Show More to get the full set in order to access everything that we need to set this up. So I'm going to turn off starter mode, but you'll be able to find the same settings if you do that in starter mode. So the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is make sure that I've set my media size and my mat. So I'm going to choose that as letter. I'm going to cut on just a regular old sticky 12 by 12 mat. And then I've got my machine selected. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. And then I'm going to come down to the icon for the print and cut registration marks. So it looks like a little page and there's a square and 2 lines. And then we want to make sure we enable our registration marks because the first step for this will be to print it. Of course, you can use the settings to cut multiple layers separately without doing a print and cut. So maybe you have some scrap paper and some scrap vinyl that you're cutting for a project, or maybe even 2 separate things, but you want to cut them on the same mat just to save some time. You can also use the different cut settings per layer to do things like that as well. However, doing die cut and kiss cut stickers in the same operation is definitely a great method for this. I'm also going to come down to my layers panel. So you can see that icon here. Again, if you're in starter mode, you'll need to make sure that you are clicking on Show More Options to see everything. And the way that I have this file set up, I have my print portion, which is a PNG. And then I also have my shapes for my kiss cut and my die cut, and I have those both labeled. If you're not using a file that's been set up like this and you're just drawing your own lines or using a different SVG, I recommend double-clicking and renaming your groups or layers so that you can make sure that you are setting the correct settings to the correct layer. So real quick here, I'll just turn off my kiss cut, and you can see that's turned off the lines to kiss cut the stickers. And if I toggle my die cut, you can see that's toggling those lines that are going to cut out the individual Valentines. So I'm going to go ahead and print this, and then we'll get into the cut settings. Okay, now that I have my Valentine sticker sheets cut, I'm going to go to the send panel so that I can cut the kiss cut and die cuts. I'm going to click send in the upper right, and I'm on standard and not guide, so make sure you're on standard. And then we're going to choose this icon to the far right, which is the layers icon, and that's going to let us set different cut settings for different layers. Again, you don't have to do this with a print and cut file. There might be plenty of other reasons, mixing different materials on the same cutting mat, that you would want to do 2 different operations. You could also do this if you had a sketch file that you were cutting and you wanted to sketch and then cut. I highly recommend doing your sketch operation before doing your cut operation so that just in case anything's a little bit loose, if your mat's not as sticky as it should be, it's a little old, that cut operation doesn't loose the material or the paper that you're going to draw on, and then doing the sketch operation might cause that paper to shift. So always do your sketch before you cut. So it's another great option to do with the layers like this. So what we can see here is all of our lines. I don't need to do the print part again, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. That doesn't really have any lines anyway, so it's not going to do anything. Then I have check boxes to turn on and off my kiss and die cut. So the reason we named these when we were looking at our layers panel, when we were over in the design tab, is so that we could see which one is going to be the kiss and which one is going to be the die. Of course, we can use this checkbox also to toggle on and off and make sure that we've got the correct things selected. So for my kiss cut, I'm going to go ahead and choose my kiss cut material. So I used the Koala matte vinyl sticker paper for these because they are Valentines and intended to be written on. I didn't want to use glossy paper. The vinyl matte paper, because it's vinyl, is still really durable, especially for 8 Kids Valentine sticker. But because it's matte, it's not going to be too hard to write on with like a normal pen. So I've set that to kiss, and you can see my settings here, and I can put those in the description if you're curious to try those. Again, it kind of depends on your machine and your blade, and if you're not using the same brand material, etc. But these are a good starting point. And then for my die cut, I'm going to go ahead and click on that drop down, and I'm going to scroll down to my saved die cut setting. So a little bit different. I have increased the force and done 2 passes for the die cut just to make sure that that cuts all the way through. Now we can load our media and send this to be cut. Here are our final Valentine sticker sheets. I hope that learning how to use layers to set different cut settings has been helpful for you, and that you'll give this method a try. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thanks for crafting with me today. I'll see you next time.